Oh, good evening. I'm one of many volunteers that look after the vulnerable and homeless in our local area. My question is, has the government taken into account the infrastructure needed for the 400,000 people who they intend to allow to settle in Australia? We have a housing crisis. There are more people depending on welfare assistance with the interest rate rises and the cost of living now spiralling out of control. How is this going to be managed and by whom?
Andrew. Andrew's not telling us what's in the budget tomorrow, by the way.
Gabriele, thanks for your question. The way in which I think about migrants is they're not just mouths to feed, but also muscles to build and minds to inspire. If you think about the three great strands that have made Australia, it's that British constitutional history, the Indigenous culture, and then the multicultural migrants that have come. Millions of them since the end of World War II. Migrants do add to demand, but they also add to supply. They're also overrepresented in the building sector for building those new homes. And so what we're trying to do is to ensure that we have the benefits, the dynamism that comes from a strong migration program, that know-how that we import when we bring in new migrants, but also that we're creating the infrastructure and at the same time.
And that was the question, to be fair. The question was about the people who are still struggling to find a home now, competing with more people who are going to be coming. Yes, for all the reasons you said, to bring more innovation, more energy to the economy. But how do you deal with people who are struggling now?
Yeah, so to Gabriele's question, you've got to make sure that you're investing in the infrastructure. You know, we've just had 9 years of a rortocracy. Sports rorts, car park rorts, airport rorts, all sorts of money being splashed where it's not needed. We're focusing that infrastructure spend on making sure that it unlocks the supply opportunities. We've got the $10 billion Housing Australia Future Fund looking to build more houses, and the Help to Buy program, which will assist young Australians who can't quite make that mortgage as house prices have hit highs. But we do need to make sure that we get the benefits of migration, because that multicultural story is so much a part of all of us. You know, those of us who are not Indigenous Australians are either migrants or the children of migrants. A quarter of Australians are born overseas. A half have a parent who's born overseas, including my 3 boys, because I'm married to a migrant. I think we can walk and chew gum on this one, Gabriele. I think we can get the infrastructure and the housing right.
I'll ask Gabriele about that. Gabriele, are you happy with the answer you've received tonight?
No, I'm not. I think that we've got here and now, we've got people, you're talking about building these things. These things take months to achieve. I'm feeding people in a park, under a bridge, living in cars, families, people that need assistance now. They don't want to go on a list. They can't go on a list. They can't wait for 10 years. They can't wait for 5 years or 1 year. They need help now, and there's nowhere for them to go. Their help is extremely limited, and things are really desperate. On the ground, where reality is happening, it's spiralling out of control, and people need help.
We understand.
And you're going to bring down the budget tomorrow night with a significant surplus, billions of dollars in surplus, and people are struggling under trees in parks.
I'm not at liberty to reveal the budget bottom line, but what I can say is that
it is actually.
To eat tonight. You're going to sleep in a warm bed.
And we recognise those needs, Gabriele, of the people that you talk about. You know, I volunteer. I joined Parliament in order to make a difference for the most disadvantaged, and they will be at the heart of the cost of living package we're delivering tomorrow, on top of all of the measures that I've talked about tonight, the $500 million in homelessness support. I did come in there because it is being reported, you can look at this on the ABC website, that there will be a surplus of $4 billion.
So you know what's in the budget. Is that figure accurate? And if it's accurate, why isn't it being spent to help the people that Gabriele's talking about?
So we're spending significantly on the people that Gabriele...
Is it an accurate figure? There'll be a $4 billion surplus.
I'm not going to go into budget numbers or nudges. What Gabriele is asking is something more fundamental, which is what are we doing to help the most disadvantaged in society? And they're at the forefront of mind for a government which is focused on breaking deep disadvantage. And where I started talking tonight about that impact investing framework is about working intensively with communities. So if you look at the Logan Together program, that's massively reduced the rate of stillbirths among First Nation peoples in Logan. And it's done that working with local people in order to forge long-term solutions. We need to get the payments right, but we also need to use this moment in Australian history to break those cycles of disadvantage.
We're almost out of time.